Welcome everyone, I am the Depressed Dior, and this is Dragon Warrior 3. So, I've already done Dragon Warrior 4 by the time I've started recording this, and I wanted to go ahead and play this game. Mechanics-wise, there's actually a lot of complicated things happening, well, behind the scenes essentially. But for the most part, as far this is the first Dragon Quest game that introduces like the class mechanics, kind of similar to what you find in like Final Fantasy. And this game also has a little cutscene battle going on here with Ortega versus whatever this thing is, dragon wyvern thing. So this intro will be a little bit different, simply because I've already done a little bit of grinding on another save, and what I'm gonna go ahead and do is do the intro and show off a little bit of the beginning, and then I will switch over to our actual hero. Mainly because I'm not gonna be playing this super optimally. There's definitely some preferred ways to play as far as like what sort of party makeup you have and things like that, but I'm going to be ignoring most of that just to see how things work. Anyway, that was the intro, so let's go ahead and hop right in. So yeah, I already have a save made. I'm going to go ahead and just begin a new quest. And we'll use this log, and we will name this person Cerno. You can pick your gender, but the sprite does not change on the NES version. The remake, in I think the SNES version, does provide some female sprites for the hero. They also include some changes for the classes to make them a little bit more balanced, but not by much. And we'll pick our special steed. It was Cerno's 16th birthday. Wake up, dear. Wake up, Cerno. Wake up, Cerno. It's morning. Today is a very important day. This is the first time that you, Cerno, shall go to the castle. I have raised you as a brave young lad for this very day. Also, a lot of the dialogue in this game will reference you as a male rather than a female, and as you can see, I'm stuck with the male sprite because there is no female hero sprite. But as far as the mechanics are concerned, you are classified as a female, and that means you can equip female-only gear. So come with your mother. Okay. Guess I'll talk to the old man later. As you can definitely tell, the graphics are a bit different. This is the third game. If you go straight, you'll come to the castle. Remember your manners in front of the king. Alright? Be on your way now. I think that's what the final line was. The castles are definitely a lot bigger. I was about to say Dark Souls. Dragon Warrior 4's castles, I mean, they look nice, but they are actually rather small. Welcome unto the Cerno, daughter of the brave Ortega. It is said that thy father Ortega met his end when he fell into a volcano's crater at the end of a battle. We do hereby accept your petition to follow in the footsteps of your brave father. You too shall jump into a volcano. Thy enemy shall be the Archfiend Baramos. The name of the Archfiend Baramos is yet unknown in the world of men. If things remain unchanged, before long the world will be destroyed by the Archfiend. Baramos must be defeated. Seek companions at the local eatery and start your quest. Cerno receives money for his party. Farewell until we meet once more, Cerno. Alright, and if you talk to in Dragon Warrior 4, you save your game at the House of Healing, at least majority of the House of Healings. In this game, you actually save your game at the King or the Chancellor, whichever is available at the whatever location. So you usually save your game in castles rather than towns. Also, when you talk to a king, farewell until we meet once more, Cerno. Okay, so I guess I can't do it right now. A solo journey is too dangerous. It's best to go to Lusa's place at the edge of town and find some companions. In a fight, the farther back you stand, the less damage you incur. Pay attention to the formation. So it's just letting you know that the further left you are in the formation in battle, the more likely you are to be attacked by physical attacks. That does not apply for spells. Usually, a lot of cases, spells will target anyone. And also, some monsters may ignore the targeting entirely and do what they want. And some monsters will pick a target and stay with that target until they die. So, little things that going on back then. Equip yourself with weapons and armor and ready yourself. It's not enough that you have them. Okay, it's just letting you know to equip your gear, which we already have our gear equipped. We start out with a copper sword and a leather armor. Out of all the characters, you start out with the best gear. The castle gates close at night. You can only have an audience with the king during the day. Dragon Warrior 3 is the first of the Dragon Warrior series to introduce the day and night system. And it definitely works much the same as it did in Dragon Warrior 4. Brave hero, please bring peace to the world quickly. So this video is going to be mostly showing off a little bit of the class system and then talking to everybody. And then I will swap over to another character. When you return from your travels, have the results of your labors recorded in the Imperial Scrolls of Honor, so save your game. That way, even if you rest from your journeys for a while, you can restore your status. His Highness is anxiously awaiting you. His Highness is upstairs. You also can see some doors. In this game, there is no door command. You have to use a key item to open any doors, which means there are no regular doors in this game. All doors require a key. They say that the key made by the thief Bakor can easily open all doors with simple locks. So yeah, there's the thief's key, there is the magic key, and then there's the final key, just like before. The thief Bakor, who once wreaked havoc in this town, is now in jail. Ha ha ha. These yellow doors are thief doors. This door here is a magic door. And the ones that look like jail doors are final key doors. Didn't you see the princess? My princess! My princess! Here she is. I cannot go out because of the Arc Fiend. I don't think I can stand it anymore every day like this. So yeah, pretty big place. I think the jail's down here. Yep, it is down here. If you want to talk to the prisoners, you'll have to do it through iron bars. Blasted, that blasted old man in the Tower of Najima. He stole a key from me, Bakor. So that's Bakor, and he got robbed by a old man that's in the tower. Which you can probably guess is nearby. And there's a guy here, but I don't think I'll be able to get him to get over here. Can I? Can I? Come on. Yep, got him. Anyway, you don't have the key to open the jail. Get away from here. Alright, sorry guy. And there's a thief key door there. It's also good to walk around just so I can realize what's around here, as far as locked doors is concerned. There is a person over there who we can't reach, because there's a thief key door there. Rumor has it that you can go from the cave on the promontory to the Tower of Najima. So yeah, nearby is the Tower of Najima, which is going to be our first stop. And what he was referring to is there's a way to get there by cave. Anyway, we'll go talk to these guys and we'll be good to go. Welcome to the Castle of Eliahan. Welcome to the castle. Okay. If you walk along the ocean from the castle, you'll come to a cave on the promontory. This is the first time I've ever heard the word promontory. If you go out of town and walk for a long time, by and by, you'll reach the edge of night. Hey, hast thou seen the island floating to the west of this castle? No. You should see it as soon as you go outside. That which you see rising up on that island is the Tower of Najima. So to the west is the Tower of Najima, and it's an island, which is why you need a cave to get there. Are you the son of the brave Ortega? Your father was a great man. Yeah. Anyway, this is a weapon and armor shop. And in this game, the weapon and armor shop will only sell you things. They will not buy anything from you. And here you can get the Cypress Stick, which is the weakest weapon, Club, which is the second weakest, and the Copper Sword, which is the third weakest weapon in the game. There's also the Clothes, which is the weakest, Wayfarer's Clothes, second weakest, and then Leather Armor. And also there's a Leather Shield. Just like in Dragon Warrior 4, and probably Dragon Warrior 2, there are... When I'm here in town, the idea that the Archfiend will destroy the world seems impossible. There are 4 equipment slots. You have a weapon, helmet, shield, and of course the chest armor. Aliahan is a continent surrounded by the sea, but I hear there are bigger continents beyond the sea. Alright, and this guy is your House of Healing. He only detoxicates, uncurses, and revives. And of course, if you die, I believe if you die, you actually come back to your last, to whoever you save at. So I think the king. I don't remember. Alright, we've already talked to you. We got an inn here, but we'll never go to this inn. Ever. Some locked doors we can't go through. Over here is the tool shop. Now in the tool shop you can actually sell gear. And of course he sells the standard stuff. Medical and antidotes and wings of wyverns. Over here we got Aliahan once reigned over the entire world. Then came a war in which many lost their lives. At that time the travel door connecting across the ocean was closed off. So we're essentially isolated right now. This is the castle town of Aliahan. If you go north you'll come to the village of Reeve. Alright, over here, this is the vault. And you can drop off stuff here at the vault. Frame rate. You go talk to this guy. If you're going to take anyone along, you best take a soldier, a pilgrim, and a wizard. So that is the standard party. And by default, this place will provide you with a soldier, a pilgrim, and a wizard if you don't want to bother with any of that other nonsense. But there are other classes, and there are also other ways you can build your party. I'll assure you that my way was not the best way. Anyway, this is how do you pronounce that? Is it Lusa? Luisa? This is Luisa's place. This is the eatery where people gather, meet, or part with companions. What's on your mind, dear? So here we can see the list. And seeing the list requires you to save your game, unfortunately. And right off the bat, you always start with 3 characters, a soldier, a wizard, and a pilgrim. They are slightly randomized for names for the most part, but not by much. In fact, I usually always see Adam. And gender-wise, they're usually male, though I think one time I saw a female. I can go ahead and pull up the stats for the soldier. So, as you can see here, this is the soldier class. Very high strength, very low agility, really high vitality, no intelligence, not much luck. Decent health, decent attack power, and defense power. And he starts out with a club and leather armor. Now, the soldier class is essentially your main tank class. He can wear the heaviest gear, and it tends to have very high strength and vitality. And he gets even stronger because he can wear essentially the strongest gear, minus whatever's, you know, only that can only be used, but they can wear the strongest gear except for, of course, the legendary stuff, which is only for the hero. Yeah, so generally they are your tank, and they're great for second slot, and they just do great. There's nothing bad you can say about this guy except the fact he's super slow, so he usually attacks last. Let's go ahead and take a look at the next class, because it saves me trouble. This is the wizard. As you can see, very low strength, vitality, he has high intelligence, has HP and MP. Oh, speaking of the soldier cannot learn spells, and he has no MP. The wizard starts out with the Cypress Stick and Clothes, so the weakest weapon in armor. He does start out with the Blaze spell, but it doesn't show it here. But yeah, for the wizard, he learns it tends to focus on offensive spells. He does learn a couple of unique buffs. But for his main thing is all about attack spells. Anyway, we can take a look at the Viron, who's a pilgrim. Pilgrims are relatively average in all their stats, but they generally have also decent intelligence. These guys are your cleric type classes. As you can see, they have HP and MP. They start out with a club and the Wayfarer's Clothes, so middle of the road as far as gear is concerned. and they start out with the heal spell. They can also learn a few attack spells like the Infernos type spells, but for the most part they learn mostly support type abilities like debuffs, buffs, and heals. They also are the only people that know the revive spells and things like that. Gear-wise, they can wear relatively average gear, and it's enough to kind of for them to hold their own. But like I said, they're kind of like clerics. Anyway, other things you can do here is you can add any member, in which case we would pick one of those 3 characters and add them to us, to our party. And we can also drop off characters here, and they'll stay here until you decide to pick them up again. So yeah, you can make as many characters as you want. There is a glitch where if you overflow the amount of characters that are available, or the amount of slots that are available, it will glitch out your character and you'll automatically learn a whole bunch of spells, which is good and bad. The good part, of course, is you get to learn a bunch of spells ahead of time. The bad part is the spells you learn are all considered combat spells, so even the heal spell that you learn automatically will be classified as a combat spell. You can't use it outside of combat. But that's just a glitch, and I generally don't do it. Goof-offs are really useless. If you want to take one along, wait until you get strong and take one along just for laughs. So that's talking about one of the other classes, the Goof-off, but we'll go into more of that later. Sages are a chosen few. Only those few who can withstand the rigorous training can become sages. Sages are kind of like an ultimate class in this game. They're not like... Well, they are pretty good. I can't really say... There's not much that's bad about a sage. The thing is, you cannot start as a sage, so that's the catch. So if we go to this guy, this is the Adventurer's Hall of Registration. I can register anyone you wish to include among your companions. Once you register them here, you may depart with them from the eatery downstairs. Do you have new companions to register it? Yes. Yeah, we have to save our game, and we're gonna go ahead and get, let's get... So really all I'm gonna do here is just kind of show off the other classes. So we'll get Wriggle. And here's our list of classes. So I've already gone over the Soldier, Pilgrim, and Wizard. Soldier's your tank class that has some really heavy weapons and armor. Pilgrim is your average cleric healer type. Wizard's your, squishy nuke class, I guess you can say. And then there's the Fighter, which I'll switch over in a second. I will grab, let's see, for Wriggle, we'll make you a Goof-off. So there's the Fighter, Merchant, and Goof-off. Let's go to Goof-off first, because this one's pretty crazy. You can pick genders. The classes do have their own sprites for males and females, so be aware of that. So this is the stats for a Goof-off. Low stats on everything except for luck. They get the highest luck gain ever. In fact, they get... their luck is so high that you can combine probably all of the other classes together, their lucks together, and it won't match a Goof-off's. So the only thing that luck can help with, I think, is running away, and possibly resisting status effects. I've heard it also might help with the drop rates, but I can't really confirm that. Goof-offs cannot learn any spells, and so they just have HP, and they start out with a Cypress Stick and Clothes, so they start out with Wizard gear, and that is about it. So I'm not gonna bother creating her. Oh, you're giving up on that, huh? Alright then. Yes, we'll register someone else. Instead, we will go for, let's go grab... Mei Ling next. Pull up the Fighter. So the Fighter has insane strength and really high agility, decent vitality, and this is your monk class. They cannot wear very much gear. In fact, they can't, in the entire game, they can only wear one helmet, and it's cursed. They can't use shields, and they can only use 2 weapons, I think. Maybe 3. There might be one other weapon they can do, but for the most part, they can't use weapons. Besides claws, essentially. But besides that, they have super high base defense and base attack, so that kind of makes up for the fact they don't actually get very much gear. And as you can see, yeah, 17 strength, that's insane. So, the fighter only starts with clothes, and essentially you can't really upgrade that except with fighting gis and things like that. And despite using only their fist, they'll definitely be fine damage-wise, and they'll do even better once you get them a claw. In comparison to the soldier, the fighter is faster, and I supposedly has a higher chance of critical hits. I've heard that anyway. They are also super low maintenance compared to a soldier. Soldier, you pretty much have to constantly buy them new gear to kind of get them, you know, the best gear possible. But for fighters, you just kind of let them do their thing. And for the most part, I think fighters can definitely hold their own. Supposedly, some people have said that in late game, fighters are not as good, but I think stat-wise, they definitely hold their own. So I'll be testing this theory later, but this is the fighter class. So let's not take her, because obviously we're not going to worry about any of that. Anyway, we got one more person we need to register. So who shall we take? Let's take... supposedly the name of your character can decide some stats, but it's not really that big of a difference. Anyway, the final class is that I haven't gone over yet, is the Merchant. The Merchant has rather average stats, around the same of a Pilgrim. Their strength gets a little bit higher than a Pilgrim's, but not much higher. They don't have any magic, and yeah. They start out with club and clothes, and the gear they can wear is probably about the equivalent of a Pilgrim, maybe even less so. And yeah, they're not exactly that powerful. They're definitely not as bad as Goof-Offs, but they definitely lack in a lot of areas. Now, some unique things that the Merchant can do is they can appraise items, which is mostly useless, because usually when you buy this game, it comes with like an item map thing that shows you every item in the game, so you don't really need appraisal. But the other thing it also that merchants can do is there's a small chance after every battle to gain some extra gold. It's not much gold, but it's a little bit, so you can get a little bit extra spare change from combats. It's really not worth it. Also, there might be a chance that you have a higher chance of getting treasure chests, but I can't confirm that. I've only read it once in one area, or in one FAQ. And there is only one other thing about the Merchant, is you actually need at least one merchant to be around level 20 for a quest. So one way or another, you'll eventually need to get a merchant, level them up, and then send them on their way. Not a big deal, but it's... yeah. I'll be exploring this class a little bit more, just to kind of see what they're capable of, but for the most part, as far as everyone's concerned, they're not that great, and you're better off with a fighter if you want something cheap and much stronger. Anyway, enough of that. I will not register anyone else. Alright, so what we're going to go ahead and do now, I don't know how long I've been recording. That's a problem. Oh well. I'm going to go to the next village, just to show off what's available there. Actually, I probably should get some people first. Let's go do that real quick. Now, a few things you can also do for, that you can take advantage of here is you can actually pick up these party members, add them to your party, and then go to the shop and sell all their gear. And then go and get more people and sell their gear. And you can do that pretty much endlessly. To be honest, there's no real reason to do that, because quite frankly, you'll get the money one way or the other. But if you do intend on doing that, where you're just, you know, selling everyone's gear, do soldiers, because soldiers start out with leather armor and a club, which is the most expensive stuff that any of the party members start with. Anyway, we got Viron and these guys. I'm just gonna drag these guys along. Let's change our party order. Let's not have our wizard in the third slot. Alright, and just to show off spells, they start with Blaze, and Viron starts with Heal. Alright? Anyway, I do start out with 100 gold, but I'm not going to use it. The only thing I need to do here is go ahead and go up here, and talk to this old man. Your father, Ortega, was a great hero and my son. So that is our grandpa, I guess. And if you talk to our mother, she will essentially tell you to rest and heal you up. So she's essentially a free N. Alright, so we're gonna go ahead and show off things here. There's the tower that was mentioned before. I'm just gonna head towards the village of Reeve and call it good. As you can see, the day cycle's changing. Alright, here's Reeve. Welcome to the village of Reeve. This shop deals in tools. What can we do for you? He does sell... Oh, he sells a turban. I never knew that. Well, turbans, I believe, merchant only. I didn't even know he sold a turban. Oh, that's new. Alright, he does sell fairy water as well, which acts as a repel spell, which will keep low-level monsters away from you. So, did you obtain the Thief's Key? No. I hear there's a cave in the forest south of this village that connects to the Tower of Najima. So once again, a reference to that cave. When you walk outside of town, you may encounter things in some suspicious places. It's not good enough to look from a distance. Get up real close. So that's telling you to check out things that look out of the ordinary. Another locked door. There's a kid here for some reason. Wow, Serna is a woman? What's that? I'm wrong? Sure looks like a woman to me. Oh, so this is where the game recognizes, hey, you're supposed to be a female character, but we don't have a female sprite. It feels like the developer's poking fun, but that's alright. This store deals in weapons and armor. Alright, so here you can get better stuff. There's the magic knife, thorn whip, chain sickle, training suit, leather armor, leather shield, and leather helmet. Essentially, this is the only place you can get some helmets. The training suit is armor for the fighter, and chain sickles can be used by most characters. The only character that can't use it is the wizard, I think, and of course the fighter. Goof-offs can use them, which will make them slightly more useful than not at all. I'll talk a little bit more about the goof-offs later. Heave-ho. Ugh, no way, it's too heavy. It won't budge. You can push it, and then talk to him again. Wow, that strength of yours will come in handy someday. So it's just letting you know you can push objects around. Besides that, there's a locked door there. Nothing else to worry about. Alright. We could deal with some day-night stuff, but I think that's good enough right now. So, I did do some grinding off... like I said, I have another save that's already prepared that has our actual hero, because we're not going to be Serno. She's not strong enough. I've already grinded a bit, because the party I'm using is definitely not great. I'm going to admit that right now, and I'll explain that later when I show it off. But I also grinded out some... pretty much the best gear I can get here, just to kind of get a one-up on everything. For this playthrough, I'll definitely be talking to a lot of the... pretty much I'll be talking to everyone in town, in every location, just to kind of see how it compares to Dragon Warrior 4. And just, you know, we're just gonna hang out and have fun. So, I am the Depressed Eeyore, and this was Dragon Warrior 3. See you guys later.